Blue Zone Robot Doc pops my gallbladder. A February 25 resilience challenge. Hello, Humpty here to share an experience I had a few days ago that convinced me of the need to build increased resilience into our positive ager lifestyles, the PALs I refer to so often. As you know, I developed the Ager Plus Learns Decade Challenge initially for my own life, and once I realized it was helping me, I decided to share it with others. That's how I've been fortunate to have found you. I had to call on my own teachings to help me get through a very difficult and challenging experience that I'm going to review in detail because I think it might help you prepare for unexpected medical events in your own life. If there is anything in life that we can count on, it's the unexpected. And this is where resilience is so important. First, let's review what resilience can do for us as we age. We find resilience in the AGER acronym: assessment, goals, empowerment, and resilience. It has a primary position in the A plus LDC program of successful aging. It refers to the ability to bounce back from usually unwelcome events that tend to pop up when we least expect them and may cause significant lifestyle stress. The car breaks down. The power goes out. You have an accident at home or out on the road. The variety is endless. In my case, it was a faulty gallbladder. But at the time, I didn't know it. The episode, which would last for 4 days, began on a Friday in February 2025, several hours after eating a leftover portion of falafel rice and other items from the Loma Mediterranean Grill, one of our favorite local places when we don't feel like cooking at home. I started to feel uncomfortable. I was getting knots in my stomach and I thought I might throw up. A couple of times I just sat crumpled on the floor by my toilet, expecting some movement, but nothing happened. I went to bed and began feeling more extreme stomach pains. Sometime early in the morning on Saturday, I lost the contents of my stomach, hoping for relief, but it didn't arrive. The stomach cramping got worse, and soon I was having very severe calf cramps as well, probably from vomiting dehydration. Very concerned, Lolita, my wife, suggested we go to the emergency hospital nearby. It's the Loma Linda facility, which I will describe later. I was reluctant at first, but around 1 p.m., after another vomiting session without relief, I knew it was inevitable. I had to slide downstairs on my bottom. I was so weak and unstable. I managed to crawl into the car and Lolita drove me to the hospital. You may have heard of Loma Linda from several Blue Zone books and the Netflix series featuring Bill Buettner. While Buettner pinned the Blue Zone label on Loma Linda, it was a health-oriented and thriving community long before his writing and streaming help. Loma Linda, California, which means beautiful hill in Spanish, lies between the cities of Riverside and San Bernardino, east of Los Angeles. It has a population of approximately 25,000 people. Loma Linda became a health resort in the 1890s and was purchased by the Seventh-day Adventist Church in 1905. The Adventists opened a sanitarium and a nursing school followed by a medical school in 1909. The city of Loma was incorporated in 1970. The medical school is now a health science university with schools of medicine, dentistry, nursing, allied health professions, and public health. The emergency facility where I received my care, further south in Marietta, is also a training hospital for university students and medical residents. I've got some links below if you'd like to learn more about this now media famous Blue Zone community. Thanks, Bill. Back to my misery. After several hours of writhing pain in the crowded hospital waiting room and feeling abandoned, things started happening. I was still having severe stomach cramps and thankfully was wheeled to a nurse's station where they drew blood and set up an IV drip. Over the next few hours, I was given a PET scan and MRI and given medication for my cramps. The conclusion was that my gallbladder or bile ducts might be at fault and was causing digestive problems. The bile wasn't reaching the proper locations in my small intestine or duodenum to help digest the food. Therefore, my food breakdown system was out of whack and causing me pain, but they still needed to get further verification before considering a surgical procedure. Maybe it was just a simple cystic block by a stone that could be removed instead of the complete gallbladder removal, known as a cholecystectomy. I was formally admitted to the hospital and was sent to a spacious single room for the night. Not much sleep with the vital checks every 4 hours and a frequently beeping IV drip monitor when adjustments were needed. The next day, to try to gather more diagnostic support for a possible surgical removal of the gallbladder, I was given a final test. I was scanned using the HADI system, H-A-D-I, that pumps radioactive dye into your bloodstream to detect gallbladder functioning. I spent 2 immovable hours under a humming donut-shaped device. Unfortunately, supposedly due to a blocked duct, the gallbladder didn't appear on the scan because dye was not flowing into it. That was further evidence that one or more gallstones were causing a blocked cystic duct. Perhaps there was a multitude of other stones in the gallbladder getting ready to travel as well. It was decided to take out the gallbladder. This was Sunday afternoon. The surgery was planned for late Monday. This meant at least another night in the hospital, with the possibility that I could go home on Tuesday. I had a 3 a.m. Monday visit from a Dr. B.U., who examined the area of my gallbladder with thumbs pressing into the right side just below the rib cage. He was perplexed that I was not feeling any pain. My cramps had all been lower to the left in my stomach. This added to the question of just what was causing my stomach disorder. It was finally determined by the surgical team, whose spokesperson was a skilled resident, Dr. Chen, that my case was unusual despite no actual gallbladder pain. It was in need of immediate removal. Later Monday morning, I was excited to learn that another patient's surgery was canceled and they could take me earlier than the scheduled late afternoon opening. My hope of going home following the surgery was dashed, however, when Dr. Chen, always cheerful, informed me that today would not be a safe time to exit the hospital. As they wheeled me into the surgery area, I met the robot which would perform my gallbladder surgery. I was somewhat taken aback. It was a large egg-shaped machine about 5 feet high with 4 dangling parallel appendages with nasty looking blades and pincher graspers on the ends. Was I turning my life over to an AI machine? What about a real surgeon? I was assured a doctor would be manipulating the robotic arms and would be sitting in a console area in front of a screen that displayed the location of the probes as they sliced and snipped at unwanted tissue. I was then introduced to Dr. Bonnick, Bonnick, who would be conducting the surgery. Her calm, confident, and pleasant manner was apparent as she described the surgical process and gave me relevant risks, which were low. I signed the paper with a lump in my throat and thankfulness that I had a real conscious and competent human as well as a reliable robot to dig into my innards. A kindly, efficient anesthetist put a ballooning plastic cap on my head and delivered the upcoming sequence of events. With her and others, I always was invited to ask questions. Not sure I had any at this point. I just wanted to get it over with. The IV was inserted and the next conscious moment was in their recovery room, minus my lifelong pouch companion gallbladder. I was informed that the surgery was definitely warranted and that my gallbladder was full of stones, about 13 of them, and had a distasteful gangrenous appearance, greenish and ugly. I was finally relieved at the departure. By that afternoon, Tuesday, I was on the way home. The next 4 days of taking frequent doses of the antibiotic Augmentin was very unpleasant. The side effects included a bumpy, red, itchy rash all over my full back, which caused lack of sleep and a constant urge to grab a back scratcher and start digging in. Fortunately, I avoided the temptation. By Saturday, the meds were over and life started getting back to normal, with the expectation that it would take another week to solidify a successful recovery and return to more normal physical movement. Although it's unlikely the staff at Loma Linda will ever see this video, I want to extend a special thanks to some of the professionals who helped me, doctors, nurses, and other support staff. This includes Dr. Bonnick and Chen, Emily, Visith, Roxanne, and Josephine, nurses, and Norman, Oscar, and others who took my vitals, poured out my urine bottle, and helped me keep safe and cozy every night. I was also aided by highly skilled and pleasant imaging technicians. 2 of them, not scheduled to work on a Sunday, came in to give me the hottie scan that I mentioned above. I was fortunate to have a highly competent staff who always maintained an efficient and positive manner while administering the same care to 5 or 10 other patients at the same time in neighboring rooms. Perhaps this is typical of hospital care around the country. I don't know. Please leave any comments you have from your own personal experiences to clarify this issue and help prepare other potential emergency patients. While this was the first time I had to undergo surgery since a boy getting his tonsils and adenoids removed, incidentally, I remember being proud of my underwear with a red Roy Rogers band on it. It might seem unremarkable to those of you who have had far more serious surgeries and have undergone slow and painful recoveries. I've been fortunate, and I hope my luck continues. I think I now have a better understanding of those with conditions requiring hospitalization. I also better comprehend the importance of building resilience into our lifestyle to help us bounce back from adversity. Here's a few actions to consider in strengthening your resilience from the Very Well Mind website. Believe in yourself. Practice thinking and feeling more confident. Watch for negative fears and self-limiting thoughts. Cancel them and replace them with positive affirmations such as, I'm getting through this, or I can handle this. Work on expanding your social network. I would have been at an extreme disadvantage if I were so single and living alone as I did for 46 adult years. Many of you live solo, and that emphasizes the need to work on building a social network for trying times. One good way is to help neighbors in their time of need who can return the favor. Embrace change. Expect the unexpected and respond flexibly without panic. Have an instant relaxation strategy such as deep breathing for crisis situations. Practice using it during times of peace and know it will be available when you need it. Nurture yourself. Following a structured lifestyle development routine will build skills that can be combined and synergized during times of stress. A system of regular exercise, stress reduction, quality food intake, and proper sleep all contribute to a resilient lifestyle. This is what the Ager Plus Learns program is designed for. Please explore some of the resources below on resilience, which will be a returning theme for future videos in the Ager Plus Learns Decade Challenge. Thanks for listening to my somewhat rambling story. I also plan to do a video on how to prepare for medical emergencies in the near future. If you have a plan in place, please describe it for us in the comments section. Also, pass on any personal experiences that I may refer to in future videos. Of course, your identity will be protected. Humpty here, somewhat physically subdued, but mentally thriving, wishing you a day of healthful living and hardy resilience during those surprise times of need. Have a great Ager day today, at least most of the time. Oh, now I have a face view with mine. It's a bad hair day for me, but I'm getting some extra oxygen. Feeling much better today. Had a pretty good sleep last night. And more energy today. I'm getting ready to work on my projects. I've got some YouTube videos to take a look at and write some descriptions for and to edit. I'm really eager to get back home today and resume my work on the Ager Plus Learns Decade Challenge so that I can get it online in the next couple of months. This has been a very unpleasant ordeal, but I suppose many agers have to go through this. I've been lucky. This is the first time I've had to be in an emergency hospital since I fell off my horse, I don't know, half a dozen years ago. Injured my neck. But it is really the first time I've had any major bodily surgery. It was all done by a robot. They made 4 incisions in my stomach area, and the gallbladder itself was taken out in the area of the navel. The incisions have all been glued up. It's kind of sore. The doctor, very kind-hearted person who gave me complete detail and for whom I had complete confidence in the operation, was seated at a side behind a monitor to control the robotic arms that made each individual decision. I'll see if I can find a picture of a machine like that to include for you. So this is my story, and I'm sure many people out there have had very similar situations and far more serious surgeries than this. And who knows, maybe over the next 10 or 20 years I'll be coming back to this Blue Zone hospital. It's a training hospital for physicians who work within the Loma Linda medical system. Maybe back. Nobody can predict what's going to happen to them physically, and we all need to be prepared for surprises in our lives. That's why we build up that very strong sense of resilience so that we can bounce back from a few days of physical disability and incompetence. We're all going to face them. The older we get, the more likely it is to happen, and we're going to have to depend upon our internal resources to get us through. I was so fortunate to have help from my wife, Lolita, who ferried personal items back and forth and visited me each day, gave me love and kindness. And if I'd had to do it on my own, it would have been, I could have done it, but it would have been certainly a lot more difficult. I'm sure there are many of you, agers, subscribers perhaps to the A plus LDC channel, who have very, very serious surgeries and medical incidences. Mine is completely minor, and I'm not trying to overblow the effects of it. I just want you to know there's a community of people behind you if you're facing these challenges now, and if you do in the future. You're not alone. You're a member of a community, and we stand together as much as we can online. We're not in close contact. We can't be because of our residences and our lives. It's a virtual type of personal contact, but I hope it feels real to you. It feels real to me. I want to be part of this community as well. I'm fortunate to have a wife and family to be a backup support for me. But I reach out to others as well when I'm having difficulty such as this. most of us will get beyond the current moment and move back to normal lives and fulfill our time on Earth, whether it's a month, day, a year, a decade, or more. We don't know, but let's do it together, not in a sense of feeling isolated and lonely. We don't have to be. We're here for one another. Thank you for listening to me. Uh, it's good to get away from my usual backdrops and my video routines, just to talk to people in the PAL community, to share some personal feelings and emotions. Let's hang in there and just learn to be older and enjoy it most of the time. Humpty here. Have a great ager